What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharp, and welcome to the 455th edition of TSR Live, your daily dose of red pill truth, wisdom, and awareness. Sheryl Sandberg is at it again, and we're going to go ahead and get right to it. So Sheryl Sandberg made an appearance, I don't know, it's the Today Show or, some show on CBS, and she is talking about the fact that men are uncomfortable with interacting with females in the workplace. And she seemed to be very surprised about it, her and her co-host. So let me go ahead and bring up the video. Here we go. And as usual, I'm going to give my commentary. I'm going to stop the video periodically. I'm going to give my commentary and give you guys the red pill version of what's really going on here. So let's go ahead and get this party started here.
Women are still navigating the effects of the male-dominated workplaces a year and a half after the rise of the Me Too movement. Now, that's according to a new study by leanin.org. That's an organization dedicated to helping women achieve their goals. It found, and these numbers are very troubling, 60% of male managers say they are uncomfortable interacting with women at work, and that's up 32%.
Okay, so right off the bat, we've got the Captain Obvious thing going on here, right? So 60% of male managers are uncomfortable with interacting with women at work. And the very first question that I'd like to ask, what'd you expect? Like, did you expect to have dudes get fired all over the place and for men to just keep putting themselves at risk? Mike Pence is he is the perfect example of a man who refuses to put himself at risk because of a woman, right? He saw what happened to Brett Kavanaugh. A woman accused him of rape 35 years ago. No evidence whatsoever. It took them how long? It became this big controversy over no evidence. Well, guess what? Mike Pence decided, hey, you want to know something? I'm never going to eat alone with women. I'm never going to meet alone with women. Anytime I have a woman in my office, anytime I'm in the presence of a woman, there will always be a third party present. And now what they're doing is they're saying that this hurts women, as you will see here. Let's continue.
In 2018, workplace interactions that men are nervous about include mentoring, socializing, and having one-on-one meetings with women. Sheryl Sandberg, Leanin's founder and Facebook's chief operating officer, is with us first on CBS this morning with a look at the survey's results. Sheryl, good morning to you.
Thank you all for having me because this topic is so important.
No, I read the numbers and my mouth fell open.
Oh, my mouth fell open. Again. Did you expect things to stay the same? What's so surprising by this? It's like we find out a dude burned his hand on a stove, right? Then we find out that he no longer puts his hand on the stove. And we say, oh my God, my mouth fell open when I found out that this man no longer puts his hand on a hot stove. How could this be? How in the world could this be? Like I said, this definitely hurts women in the workplace, right? Or at least that's what listen, maybe it does hurt them, but that's on them. This is on women. Careful what you wish for. They wanted sexual harassment to stop, and it has stopped. But now that they're complaining that it has stopped, so which is it? Is sexual harassment bad? Is it good? I don't understand. This again is another case of women not knowing what they want or need.
What message does it send?
Well, we're in a bad place. So 60% of male managers in the U.S., 60% are afraid to have a one-on-one meeting with a woman.
Think about how, look at how surprised she was. 60%, oh my God, this is so shocking. Think about how ridiculous this sounds. Here's the truth, guys. This whole charade that they're doing here, this is intellectual dishonesty. They're not surprised at all. They have to act like they're surprised, but they're really not surprised, guys. They knew that this would happen, or at least this is probably an unintended consequence. Hashtag me too, sexual harassment. We're not going to take it anymore. Hell no, we won't go. And so on and so forth. And now they want to act surprised. My guess is that the term unintended consequences has probably been thrown around a number of times. But even if they didn't know that this would happen, they're acting like they're surprised that men are no longer putting themselves in harm's way.
you get promoted without a one-on-one meeting?
No one's ever gotten promoted without a one-on-one meeting.
No one's ever gotten promoted without a one-on-one meeting. This is false. People do get promoted without one-on-ones. It's called meritocracy. It's called hard work. It's called being promoted on your merits and results. You want to know why women want one-on-one meetings, guys? So they can use their feminine influence on males to give them promotions. This is the only reason why they're bitching and complaining about not getting one-on-ones. But let's just say this is true. Let's just entertain, just for the sake of argument, let's just say that promotions do not happen without one-on-one meetings. And to that, I say tough shit. You can't have it both ways, ladies. You can't bitch and moan about sexual harassment happening one day, right? And then one-on-one meetings, or sexual harassment happening during these one-on-one meetings, and then wonder why men don't have one-on-one meetings anymore. And the crux of the situation is that most men don't sexually harass women. Now, some women say, "Oh my God, all men sexually harass women." And again, this goes back to the whole date rape thing, right? They no longer call it rape. I've talked about this before. They like to call it date rape. The reason why they want to call it date rape is because they want to expand the definition. They want to expand the definition to include other things. She wasn't sober enough to consent. She was too drunk. It was regret. Listen, regret sex isn't rape. If the sex was consensual, then it was not rape. This is why they call it sexual assault. I can't remember the last rape charge. He raped me. No, they say he sexually assaulted me. She doesn't have to say rape anymore. She can say sexual assault. And that could mean he looked at her in a sexual way. He grazed her tits. He grazed her butt. It could mean anything. This is why they say sexual assault, because there are many, many definitions of sexual assault. And here's another clause in their quasi definition: up to and including but not limited to. So sexual assault can mean anything they want it to mean. Well, guess what? It's the same as sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is a very broad definition. Most men do not sexually harass women as it is defined today by women. But there are so many frivolous and false accusations that men are not going to put themselves in harm's way. Most of these #MeToo accusations, they're BS and women know it. They use these one-on-one meetings to either get what they want, or they #MeToo the guy. It's a lose-lose situation, hence men not doing one-on-ones. I just did a podcast the other day. I pointed out an article about a girl who accused a guy, I think, oh my God, it was at a university, prominent university. And I forget, somebody can probably let me know via super chat, but they're withholding his degree because a female student accused him of sexual assault. Sex didn't occur. The guy recorded the whole thing, number one. Number two, the sex didn't occur. Number three, she was the aggressor. She's the one who bit him. She assaulted him. But the investigation shows, the investigation clearly showed that he was not guilty of sexual assault or rape. You want to know what? They're still withholding his degree. Why are they withholding his degree? And this is exactly why he is suing the school to get his degree back. Forgive me, I forget what school this was. But this is exactly the same as these #MeToos and these false sexual harassment claims. You cannot be one-on-one with a woman. Even if this guy at this university proved, listen, I recorded the whole thing. The sex didn't occur. Nope. She said you raped her. She said you sexually assaulted her. So guess what? We're going to take her at her word. We're going to take your degree. We're going to kick you out of school. This happens in the workplace, guys.
Confident in that. Senior men right now are 9 times more likely to hesitate to travel with a woman and 6 times more likely to hesitate to have a work dinner. And the problem is that even before this, women, and especially women of color, do not get the same amount of mentoring as men.
Here we go. Here we go. Women of color. Here we go with this. Let's get one thing straight, gentlemen. Feminism is a white girl privilege. Feminism is not for black women. Feminism does not help black women. Unfortunately, black women haven't figured it out yet. Quote unquote black feminists, they live the worst lives of any class of human in the United States. White feminist women, they get those benefits. Feminism is not for women of color. Yet here Sandberg is. She's including them here to fortify her argument and to avoid the, well, what about women of color from women of color? And it's funny because a few months after #MeToo started, black women were bellyaching about that. They were bellyaching about the fact that men were not sexually harassing them at work either. Oh my God, men are not sexually harassing us. I can't believe it. This is because men don't want them, but they want to feel wanted, so they squawk. Okay, whatever. But Sandberg mentions women of color to include them and to toe the feminist line. That's all there is to it.
Which means we're not getting any. And, it's not enough to not harass us. You need to not ignore us either.
Wait, it's not enough to not harass us. You need to not ignore us either. You see this? So, on one hand, you wanted men to stop harassing you. Okay, they did that. But now you want them not to ignore you. Again, you cannot have it both ways. If men don't ignore women, they get #MeToo'd. Period. You say hi to a woman at work? #MeToo. I don't like the way he looked at me when he said hi. Ask her how her day was? Sexual harassment. I thought that he was insinuating something sexual. One-on-one with a meeting and you criticize her work? #MeToo. Women have weaponized this and men naturally walked away. But now that we've walked away, they want us to not ignore them. Guys, listen, ladies, it's either one or the other. You did this. This is what you wanted. And now, as usual, you want all the benefits without any of the consequences. It's just like feminism. Feminism, you wanted equal rights for women. You wanted women to be treated equally. Guess what? You got it. But there is a price to be paid for being treated equally. You see, if you act like a man, you get treated like one. Right? If you want the same opportunities and responsibilities for a man, guess what? You're going to be treated like a man. There are costs to this. Feminism has costs. You can't get all the benefits without any of the costs. If you want a smoking hot body, the cost is that you have to live in the gym and you have to watch what you eat. If you want to be wealthy, the cost is you have to work 80 plus hours a week and you have to sacrifice your relationships. That is a cost. #MeToo has costs and drawbacks, and this is one of those drawbacks. But they still want us to subject ourselves to a sexual harassment claim so that they can get a, quote, seat at the table. Get the hell out of here with that. They want us to endanger ourselves. They want us to put ourselves in danger to benefit them. Newsflash. We've done that for eons. Building bridges, construction, the sewer system, oil fracking. All of the dangerous jobs that men do to make the lives of women better. Putting ourselves in danger to benefit women. Now they want that in the workplace too. Nah, bruh. Nope. This is where men are drawing the line. They're not getting any more acquiescence from us. We've done enough acquiescing.
Do you think they have cause to feel that way?
Well, I think it's a false trade-off.
Oh, there it is. He asked her straight up. Do you think they have cause to feel that way? He asked her straight up. Do men have cause to be afraid? Why are men, and listen, it's funny, the elephant in the room are false sexual harassment claims, right? No one has said it yet. And Sandberg is about to say it, but he asked her straight up, hey, listen, do men have cause to be worried? And she literally skirted the question. The answer is yes, and she knows it. But then she comes back, well, it's a false trade-off. What the hell does that even mean? A false trade-off. Of course men have cause to feel this way.
I think people can travel. I think people can go to dinner. I think people can have one-on-one meetings. All of those things can be done in public places.
Absolutely. But guess what? You can have a one-on-one meeting or a dinner in a public place, but that doesn't solve anything. A woman can still say he touched me or he said something to me. And because nobody in the public place is paying close attention to them, it is his word against hers. And if it's his word against hers, they're going to take her word every time. A public place doesn't solve anything. Having a third party, however, does. But women don't want that third party. Want to know why? Because they want to maintain that leverage. You see, gentlemen, a third party neutralizes her power to end a man's career with just her word. A third party keeps her from lying about her sexual harassment claims. This is exactly the reason why Mike Pence has the policy that he does. Guys, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friends, send them the links to my videos. I'd greatly appreciate that. If you want to support the show, You can do that via Super Chat. Shout out to Black Wolf Inc. with the $2 Super Chat. Says, it's like she is shocked that men can ignore them. Right, exactly. Exactly. If you want 100% of your contribution to go directly to the towers, you can do that at patreon.com/DonovanSharp1. Again, that's patreon.com/DonovanSharp and the number 1. YouTube takes about 30% right off the top. I don't mind if I were YouTube, I'd probably take somewhere in the neighborhood of, I don't know, maybe 45 or even 50%. I certainly don't mind if super chatting is the way you want to do it. I got no complaints. I appreciate the support. If you want more of your contribution to come to the show, streamlabs.com/DonovanSharp. I'm going to put the link in the chat now. Also, gentlemen, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. You know, channels like mine get deleted all the time. So make sure you never, ever, ever miss out on my content. Go to DonovanSharp.com/newsletter. And guys, again, you know, I'm not going to blow up your inbox. I'm only going to give you guys relevant emails. Again, that's DonovanSharp.com/newsletter. Okay, let's continue here.
And everyone can behave appropriately. But if there's a man out there who doesn't want to have a work dinner with a woman, my message is simple. Don't have one with a man.
Don't have one with a man. This is so funny. Don't have one with a man, right? Well, they're both the same. Look, here's the difference. Men don't accuse men of sexual harassment. Men don't hashtag me to each other. You see how this works? She's being disingenuous, gentlemen, and intellectually dishonest. Men and women aren't equal, period. Women falsely accuse men of sexual harassment. Men do not. This is why men have dinners and one-on-ones with other men and not women. So she says, don't have a one-on-one with a man, as if it's literally the same thing when she knows it is clearly not. There's no threat of losing your job when you have a one-on-one with a man. There is with a woman. This is simple math, and she knows this. Look at her smile. Look how smug she is. It is as though she knows she's putting men in an impossible situation, and they can do nothing about it. She knows this isn't the same thing. Oh, so just don't have it with men. Okay, well, if you're going to limit our opportunities, well, just limit the opportunities of men. No, not going to happen, sweetie. Not going to happen. Men are comfortable with other men having dinners and cigars and all that because men don't accuse each other of sexual harassment. Men don't hashtag me to each other. Women do. Come on.
Group lunches for everyone.
Bang. 100% agreement there. Group lunches for everyone. You have a third party. You have a fourth party. You have a fifth party. Everybody in the room can see everything.
Explicit, make it thoughtful, make it equal.
People don't get promoted in group lunches either.
Correct.
And there you go. You see that? You see that? Sheryl Sandberg comes up with a workable solution, group lunches. And bang, there, I don't even know what this woman's name is. Bang, there she goes. Well, you don't get promotions without one-on-ones. Gentlemen, these women don't want solutions that don't put men at risk. That's what this is about. Hashtag Me Too puts men at risk. Men being the logical, rational creatures, we said, okay, if I don't want to be accused of sexual harassment, then I cannot be alone with a woman. So now these women are trying to shame us into putting ourselves back at risk. That's stupid. Any solutions that do not put men at risk are not the solutions they want. They don't want equality, guys. They want leverage. They want the power to end a man's career, and that's how they get promotions.
Have to have a one-on-one meeting. And the reason why this troubles me so much is that if men are doing the right thing and they're behaving appropriately, they don't have to worry about any of this. They don't have to worry about being accused.
And therein lies the issue. The false sexual harassment complaint. She's right. If men don't do these things, if men don't sexually harass, then they don't have to worry about being falsely accused of sexual harassment. But the fact that they do worry about this clearly shows that there are women who falsely accuse men of sexual harassment in the workplace. Otherwise, why would they be avoiding one-on-ones and traveling with women in the first place? That statement right there, well, if they weren't doing anything wrong, they wouldn't have anything to worry about. That statement shows right there that these women don't care about the truth. They don't care about the false sexual harassment claims. They only care about the fact that men are no longer putting themselves at risk at work, and they don't like it. Men are taking their power and leverage away, and women don't like it.
You say men need to step up.
Men need to step up. We need to redefine what it means to be a good guy at work. It's not enough to not harass.
It's not enough to not harass. Sure it is. And it's working. To the tune of 60% of male superiors, male managers, male supervisors not meeting alone with women. Guys, guess what? Next year, it'll probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of 75%. And the year after that, 85%, maybe even 90%.
Too many people think that's sufficient. That's necessary. That's a basic, but it's not sufficient. Women need equal opportunity. And what does that mean? Equal time in meetings. It means the right kind of feedback. So a recent study of performance reviews showed that 66% of women got feedback on how they work, their style. They're too aggressive. They're too this. They're too that. Do you know what percentage of men got that feedback?
How many?
Probably not a lot.
Less than 1.
Again, this is a fundamental difference between men and women. Guy, listen, this is biology. This is Mother Nature. When women act masculine in the workplace, it rubs people the wrong way. Guess what? It rubs both men and women the wrong way. Devin's former supervisor, she got fired because she was bossy and bitchy all the time. She was way too hypercritical. She didn't have a filter. For Halloween, she dressed up as Rosie the Riveter. Women like her feel like they have to be hypercritical because they want that respect. Now here's the thing. Devin's supervisor's supervisor was the same way. Nobody complains. Want to know why? Because he's a man. And this is what men do. Her supervisor was the same way. Nobody complains about him, right? You can't expect to act like a man, then be surprised that people aren't treating you like a lady. It's either one or the other. It's like promiscuous females who are promiscuous, but then they still expect to be treated like princesses. Doesn't work that way. It is either one or the other. You are either bossy or you are feminine. Never both. You cannot serve two gods, ladies. If you want to act like a man, understand that on a biological level, it rubs people the wrong way. Men don't get criticized for this because they're acting the way they're supposed to, like men. Oh my God, this is a construct. Negative. Because if this were a construct, women would respond more favorably to bossy women. But because their biology subconsciously knows what women and men are supposed to act like, they're agitated by women who act like men. This is simple math, guys. Let's take it to the other side. A man who exhibits feminine traits in the workplace doesn't get the masculine respect. Now, he might get a lot of friends. He might be very popular in the office. He might go on lunch dates with females, right? He might go to conferences and be everybody's bestie, but they don't respect him as a man because he's not acting like a man. If you act like a woman, you won't be treated like a man, which is with respect. If you act like a man and you're a woman, you will be treated like a bitchy, bossy woman. And nobody, man or woman, likes that at work. They just don't like it.
The behavior. Essentially, they're saying their behavior.
Yeah, what is style feedback? Yeah,
style feedback is how you behave, it's how you do the work you do, not the work you do. Mm-hmm. So women are getting feedback that they're too bossy, they're too aggressive, they're too this, they're too that, and men are getting feedback on their work. And that's one of the reasons why men get more promotions. Also, that informal time, when the boss takes a trip, takes a junior colleague, that person gets all of that context, all of that time to spend with the boss. Mm-hmm. Who do you think gets promoted? Mm-hmm. And so our message is really simple. If we want to stop sexual harassment in the workplace, one of the things that does that most effectively is having more senior women.
Listen, you guys did this to yourselves. Again, you made your bed, you have to lay in it. You can't say, I want a firmer mattress, get a firmer mattress, and then say, oh, this mattress is too firm. Sweetheart, listen, you wanted to stamp out sexual harassment in the workplace. Mission accomplished. Now you have to deal with the blowback. And because of false sexual harassment claims, men are not going to put themselves at risk. They're not going to put themselves at risk, Ms. Sandberg, just because you shame them into doing that. It doesn't work that way.
The only way we're going to get more senior women is if women are getting the same numbers of meetings, the same one-on-one coaching, the same feedback on their work. so that they can get the promotions they deserve.
So other than men not meeting with male colleagues if they're worried about meeting with, because everybody knows about gossip. There's gossip in our industry. And so... and you said that with a straight face.
Yeah, you did that really well.
Yes. And so there's gossip, and surely men are not crazy to think, gee, if I have a one-on-one lunch, this mentoring meeting, the gossip gets out of control, suddenly I'm having to explain something when nothing was done wrong. What other steps then should men do if they have these concerns about what can happen in a workplace where, again, they have no control over when tongues start wagging?
Well, look, I'm with Gail. You have to be able to have a one-on-one conversation.
Dude, listen, she skirted the question. The guy asked her straight up, hey, listen. And by the way, when he says when tongues start to wag, when rumors start to happen, he is talking explicitly about false sexual harassment accusations. This is what he is talking about, and everyone at that table knows that this is what he's talking about. Sheryl Sandberg literally skirted the question. Well, look, I agree with Gail. You just have to have one-on-ones with women. No, he didn't. That's not what he asked. He said, what if women lie about what was said? What if when tongues start wagging, you don't have control over that? Well, you still have to have one-on-one meetings, right? So despite the risk, still have one-on-one meetings. It just, no. One-on-ones with doors open isn't a one-on-one according to these women. That's just all there is to it.
And those conversations can happen in rooms with the doors open. In a public restaurant, having a lunch or dinner, I don't really think you can get falsely accused of something.
And there is the lie. There's the lie. She wants men to watch this and say, if we meet in a public place, I'm safe. And she knows goddamn well that is not even close to being true. She literally sat there and said, I don't think that men can get falsely accused. And it's interesting, she finally addressed the real issue, which are false accusations. But when she does, it's, well, I don't think men can get falsely accused. And dude, she knows she's full of it. And men ain't going for it. Guys, I'm here to tell you, that's why they're having this conversation. Ain't no way a man's going to put his job, his benefits, his family, his pension, his 401k at risk just because a woman can get promoted. Not going to happen. The only solution here is for men and women to work separately. Listen, if women can run their own businesses and they can run their own offices, then let them do it. But that's never going to happen. You want to know why? Because they know they can't. And that's why they're bitching. Sheryl Sandberg knows that women need men to get ahead, and they hate it. Women need men to get ahead. Women need men to get promoted. Women need men, period. That's always the way it's been, and it's always the way it will be, no matter how much, no matter what women like Sheryl Sandberg says. None of this happens, this utopian dream, none of this happens without men, and she knows it. And this is why she's on national TV begging men to give women opportunities for no other reason but that they were born with 2 X chromosomes. And any male executive worth his salt laughs at this notion, lights up a cigar, pours himself a scotch, and tells his hot secretary to hold all his calls for the next hour so him and the COO, a man, can plan which man is going to get the next promotion. It is Friday, May 24th. Give me a second here. It is Friday, May 24th. 2019 on the 455th edition of TSR Live. Guys, again, if you want to support the show, you can do so via Super Chat like Thaddeus Scott. Shout out to him with the $2 Super Chat. I appreciate that. Black Wolf Inc. again with the $2 Super Chat. I greatly appreciate that. Gentlemen, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and hit the bell. Make sure you guys hit that bell to be notified of when I go live. Get the word out. Tell your friends about my channel. Anyone who pees standing up. Anyone with a Y chromosome could stand to benefit from my content. I would greatly appreciate that. You guys can also get exclusive content on Patreon. Just a few bucks a month. Today I'm going to be releasing the third of a 4-part series on how to handle yourself and your relationship when your woman catches you cheating. I'm also going to be releasing the Tinder show that I did with Black Label Logic yesterday. I'm re-releasing it. Anytime I do an interview, I always take it down. I download the MP4, I back it up, and then I re-upload it to a separate channel. That way, this is another insulation to protect me from would-be content thieves. So if I know guys probably wanted to see the show. Hey, I'm sure guys have probably said in the chat or maybe emailed me, hey, the show for Black Label Logic, the link isn't working anymore. No, it's not going to work. Stay tuned. I'm going to be releasing that at noon. So at noon Eastern, I'm going to be re-releasing the Tinder show that I did with Carl Black Label Logic. So be sure to check that out. So become a patron to check that out. You can become a patron at patreon.com/Donovan Sharp, and you will get access to this exclusive stream. Coming up next, I'm going to talk about my 7 rules for text game. Now, this is going to be for patrons only. So I'm going to say goodbye to my YouTube, my Facebook, and my Twitter audience. If you want to watch the rest of the show, go to donovansharp.com/live. Again, that's donovansharp.com/live. The Patreon only show is definitely not YouTube friendly, different imagery, different language, all that stuff. So if you guys want to, listen, if you guys want the good stuff that you're used to, the freewheeling, I let the tongue, I let the tongue fly. donovansharp.com/live. Click that link and you will get access to the rest of the show. Again, that's donovansharp.com/live. That's going to do it for this particular portion. I will see you guys on the other side.
Fucking loser.
You live in your mom's basement.
You probably have a 2-inch cock.
You sound like a white guy.
Congratulations.
For what?
You said you got a girlfriend.
You're probably a virgin.
So that's a no for Netflix and chill?
Fuck you.
So I'm curious. Tell me about your show. What do you talk about?
I talk about how women ain't shit.
Oh.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharp, and welcome to the real episode 455 of TSR Live, your daily dose of red pill truth, wisdom, and awareness. It is Friday, May 24, 2019. Happy Friday, guys. Happy Memorial Day, or happy Memorial Day weekend. My complex has drastically upgraded the pool. They put in 2 cabanas, 2 barbecue pits, 2 barbecue grills, gas barbecue grills. They've got a couple of Vegas-style sort of, the square tents, with the Vegas-style pool parties. They've got a couple of daybeds in there, so you can go in there and fuck your girl and watch everybody look, oh my God, I can't believe he's fucking his girl. Well, what'd you expect him to do, right? Good to have you guys back in here today. Shout out to Big Wute Samaj. Haven't seen you in a while. Says, what's up, y'all? This is what got guys walking on eggshells with these broads. He also says, Donovan says, well said, Donovan. They weaponize the workplace weaponized hypergamy. Listen, I get what you're saying. Shout out to HS Lee with the $5 contribution. HS Lee with the $5 contribution. Appreciate that. A lot of people misuse the word hypergamy, right? Like, hypergamy is not a bad thing. You know, weaponized hypergamy. Listen, for guys who complain, oh, you know, women are hypergamous, dude, get your shit together, man. Like, dude, I used to be one of those guys. Oh, you know, women's expectations and this and that and the other. Got to get your shit together. If you want women to, and it's funny, nobody complains about hypergamy when it's exercised on them, right? I fuck plenty of girlfriends and wives. I never complain about hypergamy. She's exercising her hypergamy. She's trying to upgrade. You don't complain about it when the girl comes to you. You complain about it when the girl upgrades from you. I'm not saying that there isn't merit to what you said, Samaj. But I'm not really, I do not endorse complaining about hypergamy. I think hypergamy is necessary. I think it is good. Hypergamy has definitely caused women to run amok. This is the price you pay, but by the same token, I actually need to do something here. Hang on a second. There we go. I forgot to change the background stuff. So, yes, on TSR, the real TSR Live, you guys get to see Devon's sweet ass and tits. There are her tits. She has, what is she, like a 38D, something like that. I'm going to mark those motherfuckers up tonight because I've got 3 days worth of semen in my balls. She's going to get every ounce of that. Every ounce of that. So I'm going to talk about something that just about everybody has trouble with at some point in their pussy plundering conquest. And I've talked about this recently, but I seem to be getting a lot more emails about it. And that is text game. If you think sluts are hard to talk to in person, gentlemen, they are almost impossible to talk to via text. And that's the reason that they are in a perpetual state of ADD, which is short for abundant dick disorder. Guys, sluts are so inundated with offers that it's almost as though it takes parlor tricks and gimmicks and clown shows just to keep their attention. And if you mess up even one time, the jig is up. She ghosts. She's out. Now, it's important to understand that slutty women ghost for many reasons, and that a lot of those reasons have nothing to do with you, right? Listen, sometimes it's just not in the cards, and there was nothing you could do about it in the first place. You just got to charge it to the game. You could run airtight, air-free game and still get ghosted on her flake. That's just part of the game, guys. Got to get used to it. But if you want to decrease flaking or ghosting, there are certain rules that you need to follow when you're texting sluts after you get her number. Again, this is for sluts. This isn't for females of potential quality. These are sluts. These are the women that you're going to give ass to mouth to. These are the women that are going to give facials to. These are the women that you're going to demand that they swallow your cum. Right? Texting sluts is different than texting with fuck buddies and friends with benefits, right? It is very different from texting girlfriends or wives. So listen, you don't want to be thirsty as far as your girlfriends or wives are concerned. We know that. But you can't text your girlfriend or wife. You can't text your girlfriend or wife like you text your side chick. Listen, if you're texting your side bitch like your wife, eventually something's going to change. Something's going to change. Anyway, a lot of guys who are awakened while married, as Rolla likes to put it, or while in a long-term relationship, they understand that they definitely need to conduct themselves differently if they want to change the behavior of their girlfriends or wives. But treating them like fuck buddies and sluts, that's not the answer. Trying to arrange a threesome with your significant other or overusing asshole game, that's stupid. I've said that before, and I may do an episode on how men in relationships can go too far when being red pill. Kind of like people who find religion after they experience a tragedy or hardship, then they're on fire for God and they're fucking insufferable because all they want to talk about is Jesus and how you should join their church. So that might be a good topic for the future. The only time you should treat your wife or girlfriend like a slut is when you are fucking her. That's it. But for now, I'm going to tell you guys how to text sluts to increase your odds of success and decrease the odds of being flaked on or ghosted on. Now, when it comes to texting sluts, guys, there are hundreds. There are hundreds of strategies, techniques, and just as many rules in terms of do's and don'ts. Like dieting, if done consistently, they all yield good results. If you follow them all, they're all going to work. But because I never discuss what I don't have experience with, I'm going to give you guys the 7 rules that I followed when I was texting with sluts. Again, we're not talking about text game with your wife or your girlfriend. Yes, some of these rules can be applied at different times, just kind of depending upon the situation. But these 7 rules need to be applied and adhered to consistently see results. I also want you to keep in mind that this is text game before you've met up with her, before you have fucked her. Because after you fuck her, the only time you're really going to text her is for logistical reasons. Remember, these sluts are what we're talking about, guys. Sluts are pieces of meat that we use for sex and sex alone, nothing more. After we get what we want, we only text or call to set up the next fuck. That's it. So without further ado, here are the 7 ironclad text rules of Donovan Sharp. Number 1, be cocky and then be confident. One thing that guys do on the regular is overgaming women. They overuse asshole game. They use meathead logic. They do all that stuff. All of this is a facade, guys. Guys who overgame women are compensating for the fact that they have no game. Being cocky with sluts works with all sluts, right? Even when they try to give you the impression that it's not working, this means that it is most definitely working. They try to shoot cockiness down because they know it's the cheat code, right? They know it gets their panties wet when you start to get cocky, right? They know their panties get wet around cocky assholes having fucked them by the truckload. They know what the cheat code is. It is equally important to know when to turn the jerk boy asshole game off, guys. Use the cockiness to reel her in, then use confidence to seal the deal, then end it with a dash of a little more cockiness. Guys are afraid to be cocky because they don't want to scare the girl off, right? But they say they don't want to be cocky because it comes off as being a douchebag. No. What you're really saying is that you're afraid to lose the girl, but then that means that you have a scarcity mindset, right? I had a guy call into the brother pill a while back. This is, back in December, right around Christmas time. He says, what if the girl thinks you're too forward? That's a man who's afraid of being aggressive and going for it with a girl. I told him that girls love it when guys are aggressive and pursue them. He then asks, well, what if it comes off as thirsty? I told him, you're making excuses. I told him he was afraid to be bold and straightforward with women, and so he's characterizing it as coming off as thirsty. Guys, there is a huge difference between thirst and assertive aggressiveness. Both require desire, which comes naturally, but thirsty dudes compliment girls on their looks. Men with game don't. We'll get to the rest of what they do with number 2, which is never text back right away. Never text back right away. Now, speaking of thirst, texting back right away, it screams thirst, gentlemen. Screams thirst. It also tells the girl that you don't have anything going on in your life but her. And that also says to her that she is the only girl you're talking to, which means you're not pre-selected. You're not social proofed. Girls are hive-minded creatures. Now, what this means is that they're never sure about anything unless the female species, the hive, signs off on it first. I've used this example before. She might think you're the hottest guy that she has ever seen, right? But if she doesn't see her friends staring you down or trying to flirt with you, when she brings you around, she's going to start to question her own judgment. Women know that their individual judgment is inherently flawed, so they rely on the hive to let them know if their choices are correct. Guys, this goes for everything. Clothes, career, their choice in men, and so on and so forth. If you text a woman back right away, she knows you're not pre-selected, which gravely compromises her attraction to you. My general rule of thumb, as far as texting girls is concerned, is to wait at least twice the time she waited to respond to her. So, for example, if you text her at 3:44 and she responds at 3:50, the earliest you'll respond is 4:02, which is 12 minutes. She waited 6, you'll wait at least 12. If you text her at 4:30 and she responds at 5:30, you wait until at least 7:30 to text her back. She waited an hour, you wait at least 2 hours. Number 3, the third rule for texting sluts: change the subject often. A lot of guys get caught up in talking about a singular topic just to keep the conversation going. What ends up happening is that the conversation stagnates and it becomes boring to her. It might not be boring to you because you're happy you're texting a hot 24-year-old, right? She's a fucking smoke show. She has huge tits, right? But because girls have that ADD, abundant dick disorder, you got to change it up and keep it fresh. So, for example, if you guys are talking about places you'd like to go for fun, abruptly change the subject, ask her if she's a natural brunette. After that, tell her you like it when girls wear heels during sex. Doing this keeps her on her toes and keeps her interested. Guys, if you're predictable, she'll lose interest. And changing the subject often gives the aura of unpredictability. Guess what? Girls love this shit. Number 4, this is a big one, guys. Never answer questions directly. Okay, this goes to the unpredictability factor. If a slut asks you how old you are, just say old enough to drink. Then immediately ask how old she is. If she asks you what you do for a living, tell her you're a cocaine dealer, then ask her if she has a problem with hooking up with a drug lord. Answering questions directly puts her in control. I'm going to talk about here in just a second, but it also puts you into compliance mode, right? If she asks you a question and you answer it directly, it says to her that she can get a straight answer out of you anytime she wants. But if you mix it up with her, like I talked about in those 2 examples, right? It makes you unpredictable, makes you non-agreeable, makes you a lot more fun, which leads me to number 5. Be the interviewer, not the interviewee. We've all been interviewed for jobs, right? And the way it goes is that the interviewer asks you questions about your experience, your work ethic, where you've been, what you've done, so on and so forth. Well, the interviewer is in control because he's asking the questions. He is directing the conversation. Now, this is a good thing, obviously, in this context, because you want the conversation to pertain to you potentially working for that company. But when texting with sluts, too many guys let the girl direct and control the conversation. Now, this might not seem like a big deal on its face, but if a girl knows she can control you during a text conversation, she knows she can control you in person. Right? That's a turnoff. Sluts don't fuck guys they think that they can control because it is a turnoff. And by allowing her to ask all the questions, you are showing her that you can be controlled. The solution to this is simple. When she asks you questions, indirectly give an answer, then ask one back. Control regained, right? Then she's answering questions and you're asking. So for example, she says, so how long have you lived in Philly? Way too long. You're not the kind of girl who looks at herself in every reflective surface, are you? You see how that works? Number 6. This is another huge one. Always make her qualify herself, gentlemen. Always. This means you make her prove herself to you. Girls assume, they correctly assume that we want to fuck them. This is why we're talking to them. We want to fuck them. So what they do is they put us through our paces to see if the sexual attraction is mutual. All right, fine. Here's the thing. You need to make her earn your attention. And the way you do that is to make her qualify herself to you. Ask her things like, are you the kind of girl who spends too much money on shoes? Or my personal favorite, right? Are you a natural blonde? The idea behind this is to give her the impression that your sexual attention is not a foregone conclusion. She needs to understand that she just doesn't get to swipe right for cock, guys. No, sweetheart, you've still got work to do. And if I get the idea that you're the same as every other slut out there, I'm going to keep looking. Women only value what they are required to work for. And if you're giving her your sexual attention for next to nothing, she's not going to value it. This is why girls end up flaking and ghosting. They don't value your time. You're giving it to her for free. Number 7, the last rule, ironclad Donovan text rules, always leave her wanting more. Another huge mistake that just about every guy makes is getting wrapped up in a conversation that's turned sexual. You're sexting back and forth. You guys are talking about fucking. You're talking about how she's going to suck your cock. You're going to squeeze her tits. You're talking about how the sex you're going to have is going to be mind-blowing. You probably sent her a few dick pics. She sent you a few pussy pics. Right? Nipples are hard. Cocks are hard. Pussies are wet. It's all good. But guys being as thirsty as they are don't want to quit the conversation until it's been beaten into the ground. They're not disciplined enough to disengage at the height of the conversation. Not easy to do, but it's necessary. Well, why would we do that, Donovan? Don't you want the girl to be hot for you? Yes, we do. But by disengaging when things get hot and heavy, you leave her wanting more. If you just stop texting back when her pussy's wet, dude, she'll be checking her phone every 5 minutes for the next 2 hours. Then she'll check her phone then she'll check her phone as soon as she wakes up, and she might even check it in the middle of the night. Be honest with you. Guess what? You are on her mind. If you beat the conversation into the ground rather than leaving her wanting more, you run the risk of giving her too many endorphin and dopamine hits, at which point she might not see the point of hooking up with you anymore. But by walking away from a conversation, you're creating that mystery, you're creating that anticipation. All of these things make women far less likely to flake or ghost on you. Big Wute Samaj says, true that. I have benefited from hypergamy a lot. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, listen, hypergamy is not a bad thing. I've always maintained I love hypergamy. Dude, if not for hypergamy, I might still be a fat ass today. I might be. Real fucking talk. Raphael Donatello, Journalism Film Production, says interviewing her is a great tactic. Yeah, I would love to interview Sheryl Sandberg, but listen, that's never going to happen. Never, ever going to happen. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of TSR Live. Be sure to join myself and Steve the Dean. We're going to be doing the Red Line. And let me see if I can find... Yeah, we're going to be doing we're doing a show on the Red Line. It's an all red pill call-in show. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Going to be answering questions. I don't know who our third is going to be. It's been Rollo Tomasi the last few weeks, but he's getting increasingly busy with his books, so we'll figure out what to do from there. But be sure to tune in for the Red Line tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, and then, of course, tomorrow morning at 11 a.m., 11 a.m., let me do the math, carry the 1, divide the 3, 11 a.m., 8 Pacific tomorrow morning for the Red Man Group. I love you guys, man. I really do. Thank you for supporting me throughout this. I love the fact that the show is getting better. So very much looking forward to continuing this. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.